nobody should ever give to a GoFundMe. Jay Alexander, I used to be just like you. I used to think the same thing. I used to think that nobody else really needed or deserved help from me or anyone. Like, figure it out yourself, man. This is bullshit. But then I had an epiphany. And I realized I was angry at the wrong thing, the wrong problem. It wasn't a problem. That's not the problem. The problem isn't that people are asking for help and that people are getting help. No. The problem is that people need the help. Now, you can't stop people from doing stupid shit to one another. People are going to have help from time to time. So you can't stop that. So what can you stop? What can you do? You make the help they need already there. You take away their need to have to ask for money in a GoFundMe. You set them up with the resources that they need to fight the fight they're fighting. It's so simple. That way, no one has to get mad because people are getting handouts. And everybody gets what they need. Everyone gets the same representation. Everyone gets to fight the same bullshit that gets thrown at them, wherever. You have to think outside of the box. You have to think outside of the hateful, I want to see you screwed over box. Why can't we all just support each other? No one should ever have to go without that support. That's what you should be saying. Aaron, no. The issue was the GoFundMe claimed that creators were being dragged to court to silence them from talking about Katie Joy. The GoFundMe has now removed Katie Joy's name. That claim was false. As you have claimed in your comment that Charlotte encouraged communication about Katie Joy's misdoings. See how the original wording of the GoFundMe and the inclusion of Katie Joy was confusing to so many? You, when dumbest comment, it seems. But no, it doesn't seem. It doesn't seem. You see, oh my gosh. Here's the original GoFundMe. Here's what it said. It said, Rabbit and Rennell are being dragged to court by an unstable stalker. They want to continue to calling out Katie Joy's bad behavior on YouTube. You see, a lot of their content was, in fact, calling out Katie Joy's bad behavior. And if they're being dragged into court, then they can't continue with their content on their channel. They won't have the time, they won't have the ability to when it's their content that's being called into question in these court proceedings. They just want to continue what they've been doing with the content they've been covering. And if they're dragged into court, and the court documents and paperwork are calling for their content to be removed, then clearly their ability to continue this is threatened. And no one's suggesting that Katie Joy is an unstable stalker. So, since that's the case, and their content is being asked to be removed, or being demanded to be removed, and they're being taken to court over it, well then their content is actually in jeopardy here. So it seems I don't win dumbest comment after all. I don't. I hope nobody mistaken this, though, is to imply or suggest that Katie Joy was an unstable stalker, or that Katie Joy was calling for their silence. Because that would be a severe lack of reading comprehension on someone's part, would it not? Oh, wait. Someone did do that. Well, perhaps they can learn to someday not look at everything through their own bias and assume guilt when they're not being accused. Hopefully this will serve as a lesson, as a learning example for them. And they can be more objective in the future, especially when it comes to themselves. You are a bit pathetic. You and your little posse harass someone in real life with doxing, swatting, CPS calls, nasty comments. Then you cry about taking it to real life? You try to bring a restraining order case about nothing in the wrong state. You need a better lawyer if you're trying to litigate in the wrong jurisdiction. You have this all wrong. You have us all wrong. You see, it takes a lot of time and effort to be a content creator on YouTube. And the whole point of being one is so that your work, so that your creations, your effort, your time, the result of it can be made public and seen by as many people as possible. And you can hear back from them. And you can see this creation of yours take hold. It's about being seen. It's about your efforts being known and appreciated, possibly. So these things that you're talking about, these would all have to be things done in the dark. And things done in the dark are not profitable. Not on YouTube. And you see, when you get used to your time actually being valuable by creating these things that do generate income, well, you don't want to waste your time and energy and effort on things that will not only not bring you any kind of monetary gain, but will also bode very poorly on your behalf. Because you see, many of us, myself, I can attest to, my name and face is representing this channel. Anything I do comes right back to me. Anything negative like that would seriously jeopardize anything I'm doing here on the platform. I don't want to lose that. I mean, if I didn't care about that, then I wouldn't be doing that to begin with. I wouldn't be doing a video like this where it takes me hours to prepare. Well, maybe not this time. It took me hours to prepare it. I'm sorry. But it's going to take me quite a while to record this. Probably more than one take. In fact, I'm on take 2 right now because the volume was too high on the last one. Then I have to edit. Then I have to upload. Then I have to create all the description and all that stuff. And then I have to promote. I don't have time for all this other shit. I have a kid. I have 3 kids. Oh my God, I forgot I even had 3 kids. I have 3 kids. I have a cat and a dog. I have a family. I have a job outside of this house. And I have this channel. And I have to sleep. Ain't no content creator got time for this shit you list. I mean, just to get ready to go on camera alone takes a good amount of time. Especially at my age. You know, kind of envy those content creators who don't show their face, who are just voiceover channels. I mean, I don't think less of them, don't get me wrong, but I just always felt like it was important for me to show my face, especially when I'm talking about things that are my opinion. That's just me. But the amount of time I would save every day if I didn't do that, then maybe then I would have time to do this shit. But as it stands right now, I just don't. Just don't. So I'm sorry to burst your little bubble here. But we're not sitting around scheming and calling like actual authorities and agencies and governing bodies to try to screw another creator over because they talked some mean stuff about us. Like, that's crazy. We're not here trying to tear each other down. Most of us, we're here to call out things that we have strong feelings about, to talk about them. We don't want to see anyone dragged into court, anyone arrested, anyone lose their kids. That's just horrible. Who would want that? And to be honest, if I had this kind of time that you're talking about, I would go to the gym. I would go running more. I would play more Call of Duty if I had this time. But I don't. I just don't. Maybe someday I will. Why are you dragging Katie Joy into this? I agree. Why is she being pulled in here? Unless I don't understand what's going on. I did watch a video where she states that she has nothing to do with any of this and that she's not involved in this. So I don't know who is being talked about. It just seems like all content contributors just talk about each other so much. You know, you ask, what does Katie Joy have to do with any of this? But the question is, what doesn't she have to do with any of this? See, from the very beginning, when this person came into the lives of all these content creators, it was because of Katie Joy. It was because this person wanted to share her experience with Katie Joy, wanted to share with us screenshots of their communications and whatnot, wanted to talk about all the harm she thought Katie Joy was committing. It was because of the very things that everyone else deemed problematic that she wanted to come to us. And then she took over a Facebook group about Katie Joy. She wanted us to join and help her run and moderate this Facebook group and to post her content in it. Then she was asking us to do interviews about Katie Joy. And at first, sure, yeah, we were in. But then it got to be a little too much. It was a lot to wake up in the morning and see all these messages because you slept and you didn't do something. So we each, one by one, just individually on our own, just decided we need to distance ourselves a little. So we backed away. We stopped responding. We stopped participating in the group, and that's when everything changed. That's when the very things that brought this person to us about Katie Joy, and it then suddenly became the very things they wanted to fight with us about. Instead of taking issue with certain things that they saw that bothered them, instead of wanting to talk about these problematic actions or things or statements said that bothered them, they were then suddenly coming at us, fighting on behalf of these things. So it seemed like, still seems like, we were deceived. We were used. It's okay if we were. We can just part ways and go about our lives. But that doesn't seem to be good enough. Because we said no. All of our channels and our content, it's all being threatened. Because we said no. Because we said no to talking, to doing things surrounding Katie Joy. Because we didn't want to do what they wanted us to do with our space. And now, our content is being demanded to be taken down. Our content discussing Katie Joy, discussing any of this. So you ask, why is she being dragged into this? This has been all about her. And seeing how this is now a fight being taken up on behalf of her, it's led some of us to question if there was a reason for that. We don't know. We don't claim to know. But it seems like we were approached because of our position on things. And now we're being attacked because of those same positions. I don't know if she's involved. We don't know if she's involved. But judging by her video yesterday, I think she wants to be involved. We don't want her involved. But our wants on our channels, with our content, they're not a factor, I guess. Has someone decided to reinforce the CD? Is there a court order? If not, why not disengage? Just move on in different directions. She doesn't want her name publicly mentioned if you don't want to go to court. Or are you trying to prove something? If so, with perspective, you will probably not find it worth it. Social media is full of disagreements, waste of resources to take it to court, in my opinion. Agreeing to disagree and compromises is part of life. Well, oh my gosh, I agree. You see, I don't think that this is about proving something. It's about our rights. I mean, sure, we don't have a right to cause damages to another person with the things we say. But we have a right to our opinions. We have a right to state events that actually unfolded. And we are mildly public figures. So when people interact with us even, and want to participate in the content that is being put up on our channel, well, they have to assume that it's going to be publicly discussed. So no, horrible things that are false and never happened should never be said. But as a content creator, we have every right to talk about our experiences. And people contact us anonymously all the time. We can't say their name publicly because we don't know it. There's always that avenue. I mean, sure, people can ask that they not be outed for something, and we will always try to respect that. But we can't control everyone else. And when we are being talked about on a public platform by someone with a public account, then we have every right to respond to that. I mean, wouldn't you want to? So yeah, a lot of these things are definitely not worth going to court. I fully agree. That's why I have never even thought of bringing anyone to court. I don't want to silence anyone. I don't want to tell people that they can't share their opinion, whether it be about me or anyone, whether it be good or bad. That's not going to help me evolve as a person. And it's not going to help society evolve into something better. We have to be able to hear how we are being perceived by other people. And then we have to have our right to speak out on that. And an outlet. I mean, could you imagine if we didn't have an outlet? Where would those feelings go if we couldn't express them? I don't want to think about that. I mean, we are so blessed to have these things, these means, and these rights to talk about the things that help us get through life. So this isn't about proving anything. This is about coping. And we can't demand that people stifle their feelings, their thoughts, their experiences to save us from having to cope with hearing them. We can just choose not to listen. We can not pay it attention. We cannot seek it out. We cannot turn our devices on and go straight to their account to read, to hear what it is they're saying. We can go anywhere else on the internet. So, I mean, wouldn't that be easier? For one person to avoid seeking out the things they don't want to see, rather than demanding everyone else not say things that are too hard for them to hear. I don't want to ask that of people. And I can't stay silent myself. And I won't. So when I back away from a situation because it's a little too much, and it was very brief and barely there to begin with, and I back so far away that I ignore 98 text messages in a span of about a month. That's just text. When I do that, I should have the right to do that. I shouldn't have to then hear about how my silence was harassing. I mean, I know people want to be left alone, but at some point you have to sit there and wonder, how can I leave them any more alone? I don't know how. I mean, I can't go back in time. And then when you were leaving them alone, they're tweeting about you constantly, but you don't seek it out. You don't try to stop it. You're fine with it. But your refusal, your decision to not participate then gets you served. I don't know what else to do here.